All right, everybody. I'm here with Dom from D&D. I'm excited to get this one done with you. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Great, great. Just another day. Yeah. So thanks for hopping on. And I guess before we really get into any questions, is there any music or project you have coming out soon, or that you just dropped that you'd like to promo to everybody?
I released a couple of singles, one of which is for an EP I'm currently working on. The single's called Johnny Sins. I'm pretty sure you can figure out what the title is about, judging from that. But I also have a single that I released called I Love You But Fuck You. It's just some love-hate stuff I made for a Discord server's song contest.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So you want to tell everybody about where you're from and what you do as a music creator? What some of your skill sets are?
Okay, so I'm a rapper from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It's a very, very small rap scene here. It's almost non-existent, some could say. And most of the stuff that I do is just mainly boom bap hip hop, boom bap rap, some stuff in the style of Benny the Butcher, Royce the 5'9", King ISO, infinite parts of Eminem,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we've talked about the whole Benny the Butcher Griselda thing. I'm happy to hear you're a fan of them too.
Yeah. I mean, it all developed when I first discovered Conway the Machine and West Side Gun. I found that their off-kilter flows were very interesting because when I first started out with music, I got a lot of critique about my flows and whatnot, how I'm offbeat, and I'm just like, if I can't be offbeat, why can Conway, why can Westside, why can Yellow Wolf even? Like, it's that sort of double standard that I had very hard times coming to grips with. So I just ended up rolling with that, and then I started getting into r/making hip hop's weekly ciphers, trying to figure out how I can stay more on beat so that my bars can be a little bit more appealing so that it's easier for people to get.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. So what was your kind of first foray into making music? How did that all start for you?
Well, if we're talking making my first official project, it was just like a little shits and giggles jokes I had with a couple of people who asked me to freestyle in high school. And I just said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be putting out an album," after they told me, "Yeah, you need to start actually writing rather than going off of the top of your head,"
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking getting into rap and hip hop in general, there was a shit post of Eminem's Not Afraid video called a YouTube poop. I ended up watching that. I found that really funny. And then a friend of mine introduced me to the actual music video, in which I just winded up karaokeing. And then I just started performing covers of Eminem's stuff.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Yes, I mean, the whole intricate flows, right? I mean, if you started with Eminem, that put you on the path to start going that way.
Right, yeah. It was more the lyricism that M was able to display in his older works like Infinite. His rhyme schemes were all over the place. It was phenomenal. And then you have his later stuff like the Marshall Mathers LP and Shady XV, especially songs like Psychopath Killer or Shady XV itself, Guts Over Fear. You could always get a sense that you knew where his punchlines were going, and then you could just rewind it and then get it again and again and again,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. So being a part of Enigmatic, especially with the, Rise of the Phoenix Festival coming up, how did you find the festival and how did you end up connecting with the group?
So I ended up connecting through Enigmatic through a Discord host by the name of RJB. We fell out a long time ago after he shelved me from one of his projects. I ended up connecting through Enigmatic and through him and Rap It Out because I just wanted to expand my connections just in case things went south. And then during one of Enigmatic's freestyle sessions, I tried to go off a bit. They said they liked it, tried to sign me. I had to turn it down because I'm not a big fan of handing artistic control to other companies or other labels, because I feel like I'm not going to be able to have any control in saying if it's actually mine or not, you know? Like, it was that whole thing. And then Enigmatic and the host for Wrap It Out ended up reaching out to me about the Islands of Misfits Festival, which was the first concert I really partook in. You know, that was the first thing I ever actually did as a live festival. People ended up liking it. So I ended up going back, and then I did Devil's Night, and now they want me to scout out for other artists looking for people on Rise of the Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. That's awesome. So, then you also mentioned that you're a part of another, I believe you called it super group.
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to talk more about that group?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm part of a group called Splinter Faction. If you don't know what that's like, think of Odd Future mixed with Wu-Tang Clan. That's kind of the vibe we get. We're kind of a little bit of everything. We have a guy that does EDM. We have a guy that does lo-fi hip-hop and samples VTubers. And then you have lyrical miracle spiritual people like myself, and a couple of other people, Russ, Hilliard, GD Ambidextrous, 1L. We all came together after partaking in weekly ciphers for a consistent amount of time. It was Russ's idea that we form the supergroup. He sent me the invite to our own little subreddit, and then eventually after some projects drop. We're currently working on an EP, actually, matter of fact, for each member. It's to showcase who we are in the sort of group. It's kind of like I don't know if you're familiar with Master Splinter and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that for our EPs that we're working on. We're working on a mixtape to showcase each of us in. We're showcasing a mixtape for each of us in how we work as artists. We got a slam poetry guy. We got the aforementioned lyrical people such as Russ and myself, and then you have EDM guys and more people who push the envelope than anything else. We're currently around like a dozen members in, and then we have a mystery themed one we wound up working on after being randomly paired. That was based through something called Game of Hip Hop. It was something ran through r/making hip hop, where rappers and producers were randomly paired together and then had a month to work together on a song based around a particular theme.
Interesting. Okay, gotcha. And so, is this all taking place in a Discord server?
So Splinter Faction used to take part in our own custom subreddit. We still use it occasionally for updates like beat drops and for getting our marketing ideas up, as well as also putting up what we call supercuts, which is where it's just a literal cipher of all of us together embodying a particular theme. We're able to work on Discord more consistently than ever compared to the subreddit because it's live connections. With the subreddit, you have to be waiting 2 or 3, maybe even a week to try and get to people. Whereas with the Discord, you can talk with people all the time. It works especially best for all of us who are in different time zones, especially. Like, most of us are in Splinter Faction are in the US, US or Canada. Myself, a guy called A Nervous Creature, he's the slam poetry guy I mentioned, and the one who does lo-fi sampling VTubers. And then and then the majority of us are based in the US. And then some of us are in the UK too. The person who founded Splinter Faction, Russ, is actually from the UK. So the Discord is able to help us connect for things like time zones. It's able to help us actually converse on a more casual level rather than an artistic or creative level. So that's really been helpful for me.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. And it sounds like you've been a part of a decent amount of just like cool events and maybe team or collaboration building events or sessions, like you mentioned a couple different things now. I mean, like, what are some of those things, or I guess, what would you say is like your most, what kind of event or activity within a server do you find to be the most, helpful and, fulfilling as a music creator?
As a music creator, I love it when you're given a time limit to work on something. I used to be, way back before RJB and I fell out, we hosted something called 72-hour song challenges. And that would just be you getting 3 days with a producer and other artists to work on a song embodying a particular theme. I found having time limits very helpful for me, because in that way I can always stay on my toes, always keep thinking about how I can work on a particular song, and not just have it get thrown into the back burner and then procrastinate a bunch. Like sometimes this is what the ciphers are very useful for. They're always going to be around for time, and then you can just use that as a means of focusing on your work. Time limits are very, very helpful. But if we're talking content wise, my favorite kind of collaborations, I just like working on the ciphers themselves or with other people in Splinter faction. I've always found that very helpful because it helps both give me a sense of acceptance in a place where there are like-minded people like me, and it also helps me figure out what sort of style suits me the best, because I know that rock rap, I don't really have the voice for that. I go more into the NF range, if you know what I'm saying, when I get into the shouty thing. Like, people have told me tone it down, So I try to use a chiller tone while keeping the content pretty heavy, because I've always found doing content heavy stuff for collaborations very fun to do, because then that way it actually gives you a chance to shine on a feature. Like, you remember the whole Jay-Z and Eminem Renegade thing, right? Where Hal winded up outdoing Jay because of both the punchlines and how many internal rhyme schemes he threw in there. I'm trying to do a similar thing in every single feature I do, simply because that's just who I am. I want to try and bring myself to the table while still following a particular theme they set for me.
Yep, gotcha. And so you've mentioned themes a couple times now, but I'm trying to get an idea of, how would you set a theme? Like, how does that usually go? Like, the conversations that you have, or,
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Yeah, I was just asking about, like, themes, basically, right? So whether it be, 72-hour, song challenge, or you're just collabing with somebody and there's a certain theme, like, what are, like, some examples, I guess, of different themes that you've kind of, worked under?
Okay, so the theme, so themes sometimes are usually chosen out by spinning a wheel. Like, the one I did for the 72-hour challenge was just basically a song someone could make love to. Like some very chill Barry White stuff. Other times it just comes up in conversations. Like, one of the guys from Splinter faction and I were talking about doing another Cypher supercut, and one of them was just what your biggest fear was, or it just comes from eureka moments, honestly. Like, it just pops up out of the blue, just buy or something chill, and then a theme comes up where you're like, oh, hey, that's actually nice, and then the theme winds up being something like braggadocio, or being part of a circus, or trying to say something that's very meaningful to you. Like, it all stems from either conversations you have, or by chance, or through just the feel of the instrumentals that are played to you themselves. That's how most songs honestly come out for me.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, super interesting stuff. It sounds like, you're getting a lot of chances to collab and, just make a lot of work. I'm excited to, keep hearing everything that you come out with. And, if there's ever anything I can help you out with, just, hit me up on Discord and we'll get to it. But yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for helping set this up. This was actually very nice to drop by,
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, and yeah, have a good one.
You too. Take care.